Buckle up, everyone, because we're diving headfirst into the world of contemporary classical music today.
Sounds exciting.
It is. And we're focusing on a composer who's really pushing the boundaries. Andrea Amici. Ever heard of him?
Oh, yeah. Amici's work is fascinating. He's got this unique way of taking those familiar, almost operatic melodies.
Like the kind of stuff Bellini was known for.
Exactly. And then he injects this totally modern sound. It's like he's bridging centuries with his music.
We're talking about a composer who takes inspiration from Bellini's birthplace, Catania, right?
Absolutely. And that's where we're transporting you for this deep dive. Picture this. Catania, the Gran Palazzo della Cultura, and the air, electric.
You can practically feel the energy through the microphone.
It was for the Bellinian Festival, a celebration of Bellini's musical legacy, his operas, his impact on the world.
Wow. Okay, you've set the scene beautifully, I have to say. So how does Amici's piece fit into all of this? It had to be something special to catch our attention for a deep dive, right?
It was called Sulle orme del Cigno, which translates to On the Trail of the Swan.
So this concert was all about new compositions inspired by Bellini's work.
You got it. And Amici's piece, well, let's just say it was a showstopper.
Okay, now you've got me on the edge of my seat. What's the name of this masterpiece?
La luna, il sol, le stelle.
Hold on. The moon, the sun, the stars. Aren't those lines from Bellini's opera I Puritani?
Sharp ear. That's exactly right. Amici took a line right out of I Puritani.
It's like he's having this musical conversation with Bellini across time.
That's the beauty of it. He's got this way of weaving together past and present, and it creates this amazing dialogue.
So we've got this incredible festival, a title taken straight from Bellini. It sounds like Amici's really leaning into that connection. But what's the story behind La Luna, il Sol, le Stelle? What's he trying to say with this musical conversation?
Well, in his introduction to the piece, Amici calls it a fantastic variation on Bellini's work.
Fantastic variation. Okay, I like that.
It's like he's taking that fragment, the moon, the sun, the stars, and using it as a launch pad, a springboard to create something totally new.
So not just recreating, but responding, riffing on Bellini's themes.
Exactly. And those celestial bodies, they're not just, poetic imagery. They actually shape the structure of the whole piece.
Ooh, okay. I'm intrigued. How so?
It's like a journey through a day, but not in a literal sense, more like an emotional landscape. We move from darkness to light, tension to release, and then back again.
Okay, I love a good musical journey. Take us through it. Where do we start?
The first section, it's all about atmosphere. Dark, brooding, think a clouded night sky. You can practically feel the tension building.
Okay, I can already hear it in my head. It's like, imagine a painter, right?
Okay.
They use colors and brushstrokes to make a scene, to make you feel something. That's what Amici's doing, but with music.
I see.
Instead of telling a story with words like in an opera, he uses the orchestra to make this sonic landscape.
Okay.
Each part of the piece has a different mood.
Oh, okay.
Like it reflects the moon, the sun, or the stars.
Gotcha.
Like take the moon section.
Okay.
It's dark, mysterious.
Ooh, I bet that's like super atmospheric. How does he do that?
So you'll hear these little bits of Bellini's music. They kind of pop up and fade away.
Huh.
Like quick glimpses of moonlight.
I see.
And it gives you this feeling of like wonder.
Okay.
Some hidden.
Yeah. That's really something.
And where does Bellini come in? You mentioned Amici weaving in these motifs.
Right. So in this section, Amici takes a motif from Bellini's Norma, the Casta Diva aria.
Of course, that iconic prayer to the moon. It's perfect for that feeling of reaching out into the darkness, the unknown.
Exactly. But, Amici, he doesn't just quote the motif straight up. It emerges gradually, almost hesitantly, like the moon peeking through those clouds we talked about.
Building that tension, that anticipation.
And just when you think you've got a handle on it, it's almost like he distorts it. It becomes this climactic, jarring reimagining of Casta Diva.
Wow, so he takes something familiar, comforting even, and makes it unsettling.
Exactly. It's like he's showing us the dark side of the moon, the raw power beneath the serene surface.
Love that. So how do we get from this dark, distorted moonscape to, well, the sun?
The entire tone shifts, the tempo picks up, the energy changes, it's like dawn breaking. Amici brings in another Bellini motif, this time from I Puritani, the line Suoni la tromba.
Sound the trumpet.
Ay.
What a shift from a clouded moon to a triumphant trumpet call.
Right, it's that feeling of anticipation, something new on the horizon. Amici takes these operatic fragments and makes them urgent, almost jarring in this new context.
He's not afraid to experiment, to shake things up a little, even with these iconic melodies.
So we've got the mystery of the moon, the energy of the sun.
Right.
What about the stars? What happens there?
Things get really interesting with the stars section.
Yeah.
It starts off peaceful,
Yeah.
almost like otherworldly. But there's this tension underneath,
Uh-huh.
and it just keeps building.
Okay.
And get this, that's where Amici directly quotes Bellini's La Luna il Sol le Stelle melody.
Wow, the same title.
Yeah, but here's the thing, he adds a twist.
A twist. Okay, yeah, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so it's subtle, but he makes it kind of darker, a little unsettling. It's like he's saying even the stars would seem so like eternal. They've got secrets,
Wow.
hidden depths. And he uses this really complex technique in this section called serialism.
Serialism. Okay, I'm gonna need you to break that down for me.
Right, it's pretty complicated, but really interesting. Basically, it's a way of composing that uses a lot of math and structure. But the cool thing is, Amici doesn't use it to make the music sound all like robotic or anything.
Yeah, right.
He uses it to make the stars section even more emotional. What about the stars? The moon, the sun, the stars, where do they fit into this whole musical picture?
Think of the stars as a return to peace, a decrease in tension.
I should have known it wouldn't be that simple.
Of course not. Amici uses a recurring motif of the title phrase, La Luna, il Sol, le Stelle, But it's subtly different each time it appears. It builds and builds until...
Until what? You've got to tell me.
It becomes this powerful statement, this culmination of the entire journey we've been on, before finally fading into a quietude that's both shimmering and, well, unsettling.
Shimmering, yet unsettling. It's like he's saying, yeah, there's beauty here, peace, but don't get too comfortable. There's always more beneath the surface.
You've got it. It's genius, really.
It's like he leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
You know, like you've just finished a great book and you're a little bit heartbroken that it's over, but also you just want to tell someone about it, talk about it, figure out what it all means.
And that's how you know it's really got to you. It's not just background noise. It's an experience, something that stays with you.
Definitely. It's like he's started this conversation in your head. And it just keeps going even after the music stops.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, we've talked a lot about Bellini and these musical motifs in La Luna, Il Sole, La Stelle.
Yeah.
But what about Amici himself? What's his story? Where does this fascination with blending the old and the new come from?
Well, his background isn't just music. He studied humanities, classical literature, alongside all the musical training.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So it's like he's got this whole other dimension to his creativity, this depth of knowledge to draw from.
Exactly. And knowing your own interest in, say, the technical side of music, I think this aspect of Amici's work would really resonate with you. That way he blends those different influences together.
It's like you can hear those layers in his music, even if you don't always realize what they are. Which I guess brings up another question.
Yeah.
How do you define new music when it's so clearly rooted in, something old?
That's the question Amici wants us to ask.
Is this homage to Bellini? Or is he reinventing him for a modern audience?
Maybe it's both. I think he's pushing boundaries, making us reconsider what we think we know about classical music, what's possible.
It's funny. We started this whole deep dive wanting to understand Andrea Amici and his work, but it feels like he's the one who's left us with more questions.
And that's the mark of a true artist, isn't it?
To make you think, to make you feel, to leave you wanting more. So to our listeners, if this deep dive has piqued your curiosity, if you're intrigued by this idea of a composer having a musical conversation across centuries, go seek out Andrea Amici's music. Let La Luna, Il Sole, La Stelle wash over you, and then let us know what you think. Is Amici honoring Bellini's legacy? Or is he launching him into a whole new galaxy of sound? Until our next deep dive, keep those ears open and those minds curious.
Contemporary Classical Music Podcast explores the ever-evolving landscape of classical and contemporary music. From reviews of new compositions to deep dives into the works of iconic composers, this podcast blends education and appreciation for music across different eras. Whether you're passionate about traditional symphonies or intrigued by cutting-edge soundscapes, join us as we discover the art of music in all its forms.